Samantha Reed's life had always been defined by quiet perseverance and unyielding hope. In the heart of Austin, Texas, a city known for its vibrant music, eclectic culture, and ever-growing skyline, there existed a humble establishment called the Morning Glory Diner. Nestled on a quiet street lined with old oak trees and vintage neon signs, the diner was a haven for locals seeking comfort in hearty meals and friendly conversation. Every morning, as the first blush of dawn crept over the horizon, Samantha would don her well-worn apron and step behind the counter with a determined smile. At 26 years old, she had learned early on that life did not offer handouts, and every day was a chance to build a better future for herself and her family. Samantha's journey had not been an easy one. Born into a modest family, she had grown up in a cramped apartment on the outskirts of the city, where the promise of a brighter future was often overshadowed by hardship. Her late father, a gentle soul with a quiet strength, had passed away when she was still a teenager, leaving her mother, Gloria Reed, to shoulder the burden of providing for the family. Gloria, once a passionate baker with dreams of opening her own patisserie, now spent long hours in a local bakery to keep the household afloat. Alongside them was Hannah, her younger sister, whose youthful determination and academic promise shone as a beacon of hope amid their struggles. With every shift at the diner, Samantha's heart swelled with both pride and sorrow. Every hard-earned dollar was a small step toward lifting her family out of the cycle of poverty that had defined so many of their yesterdays. On one particularly brisk autumn evening, as the golden hues of sunset bled into the neon glow of the diner's sign, Samantha found herself facing a test of both her resilience and her kindness. The diner, usually a cocoon of warm chatter and the clinking of cutlery, had grown unusually quiet that night. The air was tinged with a slight chill that seeped in through the old windows, and the gentle hum of conversation was interrupted by a pair of sharply dressed men who strode in with an air of entitlement. They were impeccably attired in tailored suits that glinted under the fluorescent lights, their polished leather shoes echoing with each confident step. One of them, with a condescending smirk, remarked in a tone that dripped with sarcasm, "Well, well, look at this. A modest waitress in a modest diner, how quaint." His words, laced with disdain, cut through the ambient murmur of the diner like a cold wind. Though the comment stung deeply, Samantha's expression remained serene, and she continued her greeting with a gentle, professional tone. "Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to the Morning Glory Diner. My name is Samantha Reed, and I'll be taking care of you tonight. May I start you off with something to drink?" she offered, her voice steady despite the rapid beating of her heart. The two men exchanged a quick, dismissive glance, their eyes glinting with a mixture of amusement and superiority. As Samantha carefully placed the menus on the table, she overheard their whispered barbs about the diner's decor, the simplicity of the menu, and even their snide remarks aimed directly at her. Each word felt like a blow, but she swallowed her pride. The diner was her livelihood, and the thought of jeopardizing her hard-won stability was unbearable. With quiet resolve, she retreated to the kitchen, determined to let her actions speak louder than their cruel words. Inside the cramped yet bustling kitchen, Samantha's mind raced. The laughter and careless insults of the two men echoed in her thoughts as she set about preparing their order. Her hands moved automatically, chopping vegetables, stirring sauces, and plating dishes with the precision honed by years of practice. Yet her heart was heavy. The diner was more than just a workplace. It was a lifeline. Every plate of food she served, every warm smile she offered, was a testament to her commitment to her family and to a future she refused to let slip away. Unbeknownst to her, a pair of watchful eyes had been fixed upon the unfolding drama from a quiet corner of the diner. Victor Lawson, a self-made billionaire with a reputation for both business acumen and generous philanthropy, had been sitting alone at a table, quietly sipping his black coffee. Lawson's presence was not ostentatious. He dressed simply and carried himself with an understated dignity that belied his immense wealth. Having built his technology empire, Lawson Innovations, from the ground up, he was intimately familiar with struggle and sacrifice. In his younger days, he too had faced relentless challenges, and those experiences had instilled in him an unwavering respect for hard work and integrity. As he observed Samantha's quiet dignity in the face of the two men's callous remarks, a surge of anger and empathy welled up within him. He remembered all too well the sting of being belittled by those who assumed their status granted them superiority, and he silently vowed that no one, especially not someone as earnest as Samantha, should have to endure such indignity. After a few tense minutes that stretched like hours, Samantha emerged from the kitchen carrying 2 plates of steaming food, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. As she approached the table, the derisive chuckles of the 2 men filled the space, their voices merging with the ambient clamor of the diner. One of the men leaned forward and sneered, "What kind of dump is this? Do you even have anything edible here?" His tone was dismissive, his laughter harsh. Samantha forced a gentle smile, replying in a trembling yet determined voice, "Our burgers and fries are quite popular, sir." Though her voice betrayed a hint of vulnerability, she maintained her composure, the image of her family's hopeful faces propelling her forward. Before the men could launch into further mockery, Victor Lawson rose from his seat and approached the table with a measured, commanding stride. His deep, calm voice cut through the ambient noise as he addressed the duo. "Excuse me, gentlemen. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. Is there a problem here?" The sudden change in atmosphere was palpable. The men, startled by his authoritative presence, exchanged nervous glances. "Mr. Lawson, we didn't know you were here," one of them stammered, his voice betraying a mixture of disbelief and discomfort. Lawson's eyes, sharp and discerning, fixed on them as he continued. "I simply wish to understand if there is an issue. It seems to me that you are engaging in behavior that is both uncalled for and disrespectful." The initial bravado of the 2 men crumbled under the weight of Lawson's unwavering gaze. Their attempts to brush off the situation as mere banter faltered when faced with his firm, unyielding stance. "We were just joking," one of them mumbled weakly, his tone lacking conviction. Lawson's expression hardened, and he turned his attention to Samantha. "Miss Reed, is it true that you were subjected to these unkind remarks?" he inquired gently, his voice laden with genuine concern. Samantha hesitated for a fleeting moment, her eyes revealing the depths of the hurt that lay beneath her calm exterior. With a soft, quivering voice, she replied, "Yes, sir, they were not very kind." Her words, simple yet profound, seemed to resonate with the entire room. Lawson's features softened with empathy as he addressed her directly. "You should know that you do not have to endure such treatment. I hold myself to a standard of respect and decency, and I find it unacceptable for anyone to be demeaned for doing their job. In fact, these gentlemen are associated with my company, and I will not tolerate their behavior any longer." The men's faces drained of color as Lawson continued, "I am hereby terminating their employment, effective immediately. I suggest you leave this establishment before I am forced to involve security." With their earlier arrogance completely supplanted by fear and shame, the 2 men hastily gathered their belongings and exited the diner without a backward glance. As a hush fell over the diner in the wake of the incident, Lawson turned to Samantha, his eyes conveying both apology and reassurance. "I am truly sorry that you had to experience that tonight," he said quietly, his tone imbued with a warmth that immediately put her at ease. "No one, especially not someone as dedicated and hard-working as you, should ever be treated with such contempt." Samantha blinked back tears, her heart swelling with gratitude. "Thank you, Mr. Lawson," she managed, her voice barely above a whisper. I don't know what to say." Lawson offered a gentle smile and continued, "There is no need for words. I see in you a resilience and determination that are far more valuable than any credentials or experience in my field. In fact, I believe you have a great deal of potential that should not go unnoticed." The conversation that followed marked the beginning of a transformative new chapter in Samantha's life. Lawson, recognizing the spark of ambition within her, extended an invitation that was as unexpected as it was life-changing. "How would you feel about exploring new opportunities with Lawson Enterprises?" he asked, his tone both encouraging and sincere. "I believe that with your innate talent for connecting with people and your unwavering work ethic, you could thrive in a role within our customer relations team. You need not worry about your lack of experience in technology or business. I am more than willing to help you learn." The offer, so genuine and laden with promise, took Samantha by surprise. For a moment, she was overwhelmed by the enormity of what was being offered, a chance to step out of the confines of the diner and into a world where her abilities were recognized and nurtured. "I would be honored," she replied, her voice growing steadier with each word. "Thank you for believing in me." Lawson's smile deepened, and he assured her, "I will have my assistant reach out to you with all the details. Rest assured, your current situation will be taken care of, and I promise you that this is only the beginning." In the days and weeks that followed, Samantha's life underwent a remarkable metamorphosis. The transition from the warm, albeit modest ambience of the Morning Glory diner to the sleek modern offices of Lawson Enterprises was as swift as it was exhilarating. Under Lawson's tutelage, she embarked on an intensive training program designed to acquaint her with the nuances of the tech industry. Every morning, instead of the early, groggy hours spent preparing breakfast in the diner's cramped kitchen, she now found herself in a bright, sunlit office, where innovation and creativity were the norm. It was a stark contrast to the world she had known, yet her determination and adaptability allowed her to adjust quickly. Lawson had paired her with a seasoned executive named Marisol Vega, a woman whose own journey from humble beginnings to corporate success was an inspiration. Marisol took Samantha under her wing, patiently guiding her through the intricacies of customer relations, corporate communication, and the dynamic pace of the modern business world. The early days in her new role were filled with both challenges and triumphs. Samantha often found herself overwhelmed by the rapid influx of new information, the jargon-laden meetings, and the high expectations that came with working in such a prestigious company. Yet, each challenge was met with a resilience that had been forged through years of adversity. Late nights were spent poring over training manuals and absorbing every detail of the company's operations. With each passing day, her confidence grew, and so did her skill set. Colleagues began to take notice of her natural ability to empathize with clients and handle even the most delicate of situations with grace. It was not long before she became known as the go-to person for resolving difficult issues, a mediator whose calm demeanor and sincere approach brought solace to frustrated customers and fostered loyalty to the company. As Samantha flourished in her new environment, the benefits of her career shift began to ripple outward into her personal life. The newfound financial stability allowed her to make significant improvements for her family. Gloria was able to reduce her long hours at the bakery, finding time to rest and rediscover her passion for baking in her own little kitchen. Hannah, inspired by Samantha's perseverance and success, received the resources and encouragement she needed to excel in her studies. The cramped apartment that had once felt like a constant reminder of their struggles was replaced by a modest yet comfortable home in a friendly neighborhood, a tangible symbol of the transformation that had taken root in their lives. Despite her rapid ascent within Lawson Enterprises, Samantha never forgot the lessons learned during her days at the Morning Glory diner. The long hours, the quiet sacrifices, and the occasional cruelty she had endured had instilled in her a deep sense of empathy and a desire to give back to the community that had supported her in her darkest moments. It was this very spirit that led her to approach Victor Lawson with an idea one crisp winter afternoon. Over a cup of steaming coffee in his spacious yet unpretentious office, she shared her vision of establishing a foundation dedicated to nurturing the dreams of underprivileged youth. "Mr. Lawson," she began tentatively, "I believe there are many young people out there who, like I once was, possess the ambition to achieve greatness but lack the resources to make their dreams a reality. I would like to create a scholarship and mentorship program, a sort of dream big foundation to help guide them towards success." Lawson, who had witnessed Samantha's transformation firsthand, listened intently. He was struck not only by the clarity of her vision but also by the heartfelt conviction in her voice. "Samantha," he replied with a nod of admiration, "your journey has shown that talent and determination can overcome any obstacle. I am more than willing to support your initiative. Let's work together to give back to the community that has given us so much." Together, they set about laying the groundwork for the foundation, a project that would soon gain traction across the city and inspire countless young minds to pursue their ambitions without fear of failure. In the ensuing months, the Dream Big Foundation grew into a beacon of hope. Community centers, local schools, and neighborhood organizations rallied behind the initiative, providing resources, mentoring, and financial support to aspiring students from all walks of life. Samantha found herself at the forefront of a movement that not only changed individual lives, but also fostered a renewed sense of community spirit. She spent countless hours speaking at school assemblies, organizing workshops, and personally mentoring several promising youths, each encounter reinforcing her belief that every person deserved a chance to succeed. The foundation's success was a testament to the power of resilience, compassion, and the unwavering support of those who had once believed in her potential. As Samantha's professional and personal lives continued to evolve in tandem, so too did her standing within Lawson Enterprises. Her innate ability to connect with people and her steadfast commitment to excellence soon earned her a promotion. In time, she rose through the ranks to become the head of the Customer Relations Department, a role in which she not only managed critical client accounts, but also helped shape the company's approach to customer service. Under her leadership, Lawson Enterprises became known for its empathetic customer policies and community-focused initiatives, setting a new standard in an industry that was often criticized for its impersonal approach. Her colleagues admired her for the quiet strength and sincerity that had carried her from the diner's kitchen to the boardroom, and she, in turn, made it a point to mentor others who reminded her of her younger self. Even as success and accolades began to accumulate, Samantha remained humble and deeply connected to her roots. The memory of that fateful night at the diner, the biting words, the steady determination in the face of cruelty, and the unexpected kindness of a man who saw her potential, continued to serve as both a reminder and a source of inspiration. On many evenings, after the bustling pace of corporate life had subsided and the soft hum of the city began to lull, she would stand on the balcony of her new apartment, gazing out over the glittering skyline of Austin. There, with the distant twinkling of city lights and the gentle rustle of the night wind, she would reflect on how far she had come. Every challenge faced, every tear shed in silence, and every moment of self-doubt had paved the way for this new chapter. A chapter defined by opportunity, growth, and the relentless pursuit of a dream once thought unattainable. In those quiet moments of introspection, Samantha recalled the early days of her journey, the long hours at the diner, the sting of the businessmen's insults, and the overwhelming despair that had at times threatened to extinguish her hope. But she also remembered the kindness of strangers, the unexpected turns of fate, and the transformative power of compassion and belief. It was a journey that had taught her that even in the most modest beginnings, greatness could be nurtured, provided one held fast to the promise of tomorrow. With each memory came a renewed determination to honor those who had supported her along the way, and to ensure that the light of opportunity shone brightly for others, just as it had for her. Over time, the story of Samantha Reed became a cherished narrative in the community, a modern-day fable of grit, grace, and the transformative power of compassion. Young people from across Austin would speak of her as a role model, a living testament to the idea that no matter how humble one's beginnings, the future was theirs to shape. Her story was recounted at local gatherings, shared in community newsletters, and even became the subject of discussion in academic circles, where it was celebrated as a triumph of the human spirit over adversity. Every retelling was imbued with the same sincerity that had defined her early struggles and the unwavering resolve that had propelled her toward success. At Lawson Enterprises, the impact of Samantha's work extended far beyond customer relations. She became a driving force behind several initiatives aimed at fostering corporate social responsibility, encouraging colleagues to volunteer and partnering with local nonprofits. The company's ethos, under her influence, gradually evolved into one where success was measured not just in profits, but in the tangible difference it made in people's lives. Boardroom meetings often began with discussions of community impact, and employees were regularly recognized for their contributions to the Dream Big Foundation. Samantha's leadership had in many ways redefined what it meant to succeed in the modern business world. Even as the accolades and promotions piled up, Samantha never allowed herself to forget the lessons learned in the modest confines of the Morning Glory diner. The laughter shared with her colleagues during the quiet early hours of service, the camaraderie forged over shared struggles, and the simple satisfaction of serving a warm meal to a weary traveler were memories that sustained her during the most challenging of times. They were reminders that while her life had taken a dramatic turn, the core values of hard work, kindness, and perseverance remained as vital as ever. It was this balance, a blend of ambition and humility, that allowed her to navigate the complex world of business while staying true to the spirit of her past. One crisp spring morning, as cherry blossoms began to pepper the sidewalks of Austin with delicate petals, Samantha received an invitation to speak at a local youth conference. The event, attended by students, educators, and community leaders, provided a platform for her to share her journey and impart the wisdom she had gleaned from years of struggle and triumph. Standing before a packed auditorium, she recounted the trials of her early days at the diner, the biting insults of arrogant men, the silent determination that had carried her through each long shift, and the unexpected intervention of a compassionate billionaire who had seen beyond the surface. "Every challenge we face," she told the audience, "is an opportunity to discover our true strength. No matter where you come from, you have the power to shape your destiny. Believe in yourself and never let anyone dim your light." Her words, delivered with a heartfelt sincerity, resonated deeply with the crowd, igniting a spark of hope in the hearts of many young dreamers. As the years rolled by, the transformative impact of the Dream Big Foundation continued to ripple through the community. Under Samantha's stewardship, the foundation expanded its reach to include a variety of programs, ranging from scholarship funds and mentorship pairings to skill-building workshops and community service initiatives. Local businesses, community leaders, and even rival companies joined forces, inspired by the tangible change that a single act of kindness could engender. The foundation's annual gala, held in a renovated historic theater downtown, became a celebrated event, a night when the entire city came together to honor the potential of its youth and to pledge support for the dreams that would shape the future. Samantha's ascent from the modest world of the diner to the high echelons of corporate success was not without its share of setbacks and moments of self-doubt. There were times when the pressure of her responsibilities threatened to overwhelm her, when the complexities of corporate life seemed insurmountable, and when the memories of past hardships loomed large. Yet, in each of these moments, she found solace in the support of those around her. Colleagues offered a kind word or a helping hand. Mentors shared their own stories of overcoming adversity, and her family's unwavering belief in her served as a constant beacon of hope, even during the darkest nights, when the weight of the world seemed unbearable. Samantha would recall the day she first stepped into the Morning Glory diner, determined to create a better life, despite all odds. That memory, fragile yet indestructible, reminded her that every small act of courage could change the course of one's destiny. One balmy summer evening, as the city hummed with the promise of tomorrow, Samantha found herself reflecting on the myriad twists and turns of her journey. From the bitter taste of humiliation at the hands of two callous businessmen, to the transformative kindness of Victor Lawson, every experience had shaped her into the person she had become. She recalled the moment Lawson had approached her table with quiet authority, how his words had lifted her spirits, and how, in that single act of compassion, the seeds of her future had been sown. It was a reminder that the tapestry of life was woven from countless threads, each one a moment of struggle, a moment of triumph, a moment of learning. Now, as she surveyed the cityscape from the balcony of her spacious new apartment, an abode that symbolized not only her professional success, but also the fulfillment of a long-cherished dream, Samantha felt a profound sense of gratitude. The twinkling lights below, the soft murmur of the bustling streets, and the quiet hum of the night were all testaments to a life that had been transformed by resilience, hard work, and the unyielding belief that every person deserved a chance to succeed. With a heart full of hope and eyes set firmly on the horizon, she resolved to continue her journey, to keep reaching for the stars, and to ensure that the light of opportunity shone brightly not only for her, but for all those who dared to dream. In the years that followed, the legacy of Samantha Reed grew in ways she had once only imagined in her quiet moments of reflection. She expanded her role at Lawson Enterprises to spearhead innovative projects that bridged the gap between technology and community service. Her initiatives not only revolutionized the way the company engaged with its customers, but also set a benchmark for corporate social responsibility in the region. Every new project, every successful partnership, and every life touched by the Dream Big Foundation was a reminder that her journey, which had once begun with quiet determination in a modest diner, had blossomed into something far greater, a legacy of hope, resilience, and the transformative power of compassion. Samantha's story became a powerful symbol of possibility in Austin. Local newspapers and community blogs chronicled her achievements, and her humble beginnings were celebrated as a testament to the fact that greatness can emerge from the most unexpected places. In interviews and public speeches, she would often recall the early days with a soft smile, describing the challenges and triumphs that had defined her path. "I owe everything to those difficult moments," she would say, "because they taught me that every setback is a setup for a greater comeback." Her words resonated with many, inspiring a new generation of young individuals to believe in themselves, to pursue their dreams relentlessly, and to understand that the path to success is rarely a straight line. As the Dream Big Foundation's impact grew, Samantha found herself mentoring not only through formal programs, but also through informal interactions with young people in the community. She spent afternoons at local community centers, engaging in heartfelt conversations with students who were eager to learn from her experiences, whether it was over cups of steaming hot cocoa in the winter or during leisurely walks in the park on sunny afternoons. She shared her insights on resilience, the importance of education, and the power of believing in one's own potential. Each conversation was a small act of kindness, a ripple in a vast sea of possibility that gradually transformed the community into one where every young person felt valued and capable of achieving greatness. Through it all, Victor Lawson remained a quiet, steadfast supporter. His decision to intervene that fateful evening at the diner had not only altered Samantha's life, but had also set in motion a series of events that continued to shape the community. Over time, Lawson Enterprises became known not only for its technological innovations, but also for its commitment to fostering talent and nurturing dreams. His faith in Samantha and his willingness to take a chance on someone who had been overlooked by society became a beacon of hope for many. In private moments, Lawson would reflect on how the simplest acts of kindness could change lives, and he often marveled at the way one encounter could spark a revolution of hope and opportunity. Looking back on her journey, Samantha often thought of that pivotal night in the Morning Glory diner, the night when a pair of arrogant men's cruelty was met with the unexpected intervention of a compassionate stranger. It was a moment that encapsulated the fragile, yet unyielding spirit of humanity, a reminder that every act of kindness has the power to create ripples that extend far beyond its origin. Standing on the balcony of her new apartment, with the city of Austin stretched out below her like a tapestry of lights and dreams, she felt an overwhelming sense of fulfillment. She had risen from the ashes of despair to build a life defined by purpose, passion, and the unshakable belief that every person, no matter how modest their beginnings, could achieve greatness. The tapestry of Samantha's life, woven from threads of hardship, resilience, and unwavering hope, continued to expand with each passing day. In the boardrooms of Lawson Enterprises, in the bustling corridors of community centers, and in the quiet moments of reflection on a moonlit balcony, her story was told and retold. A story that served as a constant reminder that the future was not determined by one's circumstances, but by the strength of one's spirit and the courage to embrace change. As the seasons shifted and the city of Austin continued to evolve, so too did the legacy of Samantha Reed. A legacy built on the promise of a new dawn, the transformative power of compassion, and the belief that every dream, no matter how seemingly distant, could be realized through hard work and heart. In the end, Samantha's journey was not merely about escaping the confines of a modest diner or ascending the ranks of a powerful corporation. It was about honoring the sacrifices of those who had come before her, about paying forward the kindness that had once lifted her from despair, and about ensuring that the light of opportunity shone brightly for generations to come. With every success achieved, every life touched, and every obstacle overcome, she affirmed the truth that had guided her from the very beginning, that in the tapestry of life every thread, every moment of hardship, and every act of kindness were intricately intertwined to create a masterpiece of hope, resilience, and endless possibility. And so, as Samantha Reed continued to write the chapters of her life, with the Dream Big Foundation growing into a pillar of the community and Lawson Enterprises flourishing as a model of innovation and social responsibility, she remained ever mindful of the delicate balance between ambition and humility. The echoes of her past, the lessons learned in the quiet moments of struggle, and the gentle reassurance of a kind word or a supportive gesture all fueled her drive to keep moving forward. In the soft glow of a new morning, as the city of Austin awoke to a symphony of sounds and the promise of another day, Samantha stepped out into the light with a heart full of gratitude, eyes fixed on the horizon, and a resolve to continue forging a path, not just for herself, but for all those whose dreams were waiting to be awakened. Thus, the legacy of Samantha Reed, a legacy born in the humble confines of the Morning Glory Diner and nurtured through trials, triumphs, and the transformative power of kindness, continued to inspire countless others. It was a living testament to the idea that, even in a world that can often seem indifferent, every act of courage and every gesture of compassion can ignite a spark that illuminates the darkest corners of our existence. And as the city of Austin pulsed with the rhythm of life, the story of Samantha Reed shone as a beacon of hope, a reminder that no matter how humble the beginnings, every dream has the power to soar. In that endless journey of self-discovery and growth, Samantha's life became an ever-unfolding narrative of transformation, a narrative that would forever remind those who listened that true success is measured not by the heights one reaches, but by the depth of one's compassion and the willingness to lift others along the way. With each new chapter written in the annals of her life, she carried forward the legacy of resilience, kindness, and the unwavering belief that every challenge is but a stepping stone toward a brighter tomorrow. And so, as the warm Texas sun cast long shadows on the streets of Austin and the promise of another day beckoned, Samantha Reed embraced her destiny with open arms, forever grateful for the serendipitous twist of fate that had once changed her life in a humble diner, and determined to ensure that the light of hope would shine on for generations to come.